Once upon a time, two men decided if they were making the cut. Then they made the cut. And now JT and Aaron are talking everything from wrestling to pop culture and beyond, because it's no holds barred.
Will you back down, turn and run, or stand up with the best? When your back's to the wall, what will your answer be? Will you run for the door? Will you run out on me like it's hard?
It's no holds barred. Bizarre.
You ever notice the best singers always like the contortions of their face are like they don't give a fuck what they look like?
Do you feel like you can't be with a man singing like Jerry Seinfeld? Like he makes him feel uncomfortable? Like Mel Torme. I don't know. Wasn't it that episode where he's like he's uncomfortable with a man singing like the whole thing?
Is he?
No.
I
think the Velvet Fog. I believe it was a Velvet Fog. He said he was uncomfortable with being around man singing. It makes him feel uncomfortable. Anyway, the 90s were.
Let me ask him. Do I sound okay?
I mean, you sound like you usually would.
Okay, good.
I don't know if that's
I stayed in the home of over the weekend of someone who's a pretty heavy smoker.
Oh.
And like they weren't there, but like, you know, like it just like it goes in everywhere, and my throat is fucked, like absolutely fucked.
Dude, I hate all that. Like I remember growing up, my grandmother's sister, we'd go in their car sometimes, and her husband was like a chain smoker, and you would always do it in the car. Like it goes anywhere back then. And I remember just being in that car with the windows up, and it was just like a sauna that reeking and smoke. It was so gross.
What I don't like, look, I mean, like, you know, you have your vices, right? Like that's not I've never begrudged anyone for smoking themselves, but like, it's like, I can never understand the subjecting the other people to it. Like in a car, like my wife, her mom smoked her whole childhood, and she's all fucked up as a consequence, right? Like it's like, I just don't get, and like, you know, I haven't lived with I've never lived with anyone who smoked. My parents smoked for like a month when I was young. But like, I couldn't believe how it was like, I felt itchy and dirty, and they weren't even smoking. It's just being in the room.
Yeah. I mean, back then too, like they didn't know as much about they do some by the 80s, like not a ton of exactly the secondhand problems. That kind of came a little bit later, but I mean, I think kids growing up today are pretty lucky that they don't have to go through some of the stuff we went through, including that. Like mainly, I mean, that's a big one.
How's the bar situation there? Are people allowed to smoke in bars still?
No. There's no indoor smoking anywhere at all here. Like, and it's been that way for at least, I would say 20 years. I mean, when they eliminated that, they had the stupid, fucked up smoking area, not smoking, and they're right next to each other. That's been gone forever. There is a bar, the place I used to always go for wrestling pay-per-views in like 2007 to 2013, pretty much. They ended up taking a slice of their bar and making a smoking lounge. And you have to get like certain permits or regulations. You have to sell cigar, like whatever it is, right? You have to sell it. But we'd be sitting, and they put a glass partition. So we would be sitting watching. We'd be sitting, but it's a whole other room. But we'd be sitting watching the pay-per-view, and you look over, and it's just all these people sitting in this giant fucking cloud of smoke. And I'm like, how is that enjoyable in any way? Like, I feel like if I smoked, I'd want to go outside because at least it's like out there, you know, I'm not just baking.
You're not in a cage. You want to go in a cage of glass?
Oh my God. I was like, it's just disgusting. And it's still there because my buddy said he went there a few weeks ago, and he's like, oh, they have the smoking area. I'm like, oh, it's still going strong, I guess. The lounge.
If you're a viewer of this show and you are a smoker, we still love you. All the same.
You're just killing yourself.
I just don't want to stay at your house probably, but that's fine.
No, or be around you. Listen, also going strong is the WrestleMania match countdown Ryan Gray and I are doing. 402 Mania matches. We're going through every single one up till this year's WrestleMania. We're doing it in short form, so they're all over our social media. They're all less than a minute. So check that out. And this is actually, obviously Rumble Saturday when this is dropping. But if you're not rumbled out, we've had a ton of great Rumble content. Aaron, you did one ranking all the Iron Men and Iron Maidens, right?
Oh, yeah.
You did a tier list on that. We ranked all the winners. Ryan and some guests are ranking the top 10 Rumble performers. So like there's all kinds of stuff. And if you haven't had enough, go to the archive on our Podbean page. Now entering the Royal Rumble. Aaron, we went through every competitor through what, 94, 95? Did we get to 95? Maybe it's 95. So we have so much Rumble content in North South Connection, audio and video, that you should never be bored. You'll listen to
that. We had to repeat it. With the Rumble performance for some reason.
Well, different opinions, right? I mean, how many people have reviewed WrestleMania 17, right? It's been a million different people.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Yeah. All right. So here on this show, we are going to a very unique idea. I'm sure that's never been done. Is rebook every single Royal Rumble winner, which I believe we did at PlayStation Nation at one point. So there you go. But we're going to go through every Rumble, and we are going to eschew the original winner, Aaron, and rebook the victor accordingly. And we are being forced by our own hand to rebook every single one. So even if we believe that the winner was perfect and was the absolute number one choice, we're still going to have to change it. Every one will be done in a vacuum. Go ahead.
Yeah. Are we each choosing one, or are we consensus?
I think we consensusing it.
All right.
Okay. So unless we really just have a hard disagreement, that we can just split it, but I don't think we will. So we'll everyone happens in a vacuum. So if we're going to change 93, when we get to 94, the pass is the pass. Like, it doesn't influence anything we're doing. So everyone's in a vacuum, and you can use anyone that was on the roster at that time, or that if they debuted like weeks later, or the build up to Mania, like, and you really want to pick someone, that's fine. So think of anyone on the roster. Didn't have to be in the Rumble that year. And kind of in the WWF between January and April or March, whatever it was, say, we can use for this. So I think that's everything. Why don't we just go ahead and dive right in? We're going to go chronologically through these. So 1988, the original winner is Hacksaw Jim Duggan. The Iron Man was Bret Hart. Most eliminations, one-man gang. Anyone jump to your mind that's like, hey, this was a no-brainer for 88?
No, because I don't think 88 is a no-brainer. There's one that like probably makes a lot of sense. That's not in the Rumble, because that's the thing with this Rumble, right? It's tough because there's another show going on in like Halifax or something, right?
Right.
So I think there's a couple of interesting options in the Rumble, and I think there's one big option or two big options outside the Rumble.
Who you got?
Okay, in the Rumble, I think one of the clear options is the Ultimate Warrior. I think he comes in at the end. He doesn't really do much because he's only in there for like 2 or 3 minutes. But like, this would have been the perfect time to launch that character. I don't know if he's a better winner than Duggan. I know that may sound insane, but like, Duggan's one of those like perpetually over guys. He doesn't win a ton of big titles or anything. So this is a nice reward for him. But so this one's not egregious, right? But I think for me, other than Duggan, he's kind of the one. Yeah,
I would agree. And I guess if you think of the purpose of the original Rumble, right? It's kind of to get over the concept. It's like a tough man competition. So like, I think Duggan makes sense. We kind of see with 89 and even 90 as well. Like it's kind of just a match, right? And they're trying to get over the concept of it where there's no goal. Like, the winner isn't going to get like some super push or being set up for anything. It's just a match with a winner.
Pride.
Right. And so I do agree that Duggan was a good choice. Is like, all right, this is a guy. He's a legitimate tough guy. He's a brawler. Makes sense that he would win this type of match. But I would agree. Yeah, good.
I was just going to say, it's also the type of match where when you look at the heels that are in the match, there's no benefit to giving them that title and sending the crowd home unhappy.
Right.
Because none of those heels are going to do anything spectacular in the next 6 months. Right. But like they're like, at this point, when there is no stake of the title match, you want to use it to propel someone in theory. I think.
That's why I think Warrior works. I think if you look up and down the roster at this point, he's the guy that they know that they're going to push this dude. I mean, he's set up for a pretty decent feud at Mania going in with Hercules. He's going to win that. He gets a solo match. By the end of the year, he's IC champ. I don't know if that was the plan, right, all along, but I mean, they at least knew he was going to be something. I think they knew they had plans for him, right? Well, he's another choice. That's another guy I was going to say is Beefcake, because he's coming off the the face turn. He's established himself. He's heading to Mania to challenge Honky for the IC title. I do think him winning could have been an option. I think Savage could have won to solidify his face turn. Like, I think he's another potential option as well. But we had a lot more to do, so I don't want to get too bogged down in 88.
Well, I just want to throw one more out there for 88 that I think is an interesting choice. And I think you probably could have done something really interesting with Andre winning it.
Yeah.
Because like he's about to win the title, right? Like it'd be cool to see him destroy all the faces and have that standoff with Hogan in the aisle. You don't even need Hogan in the match, right? It could be like, well, I destroyed everyone, and like whatever he talks about, right? So that's another one. I think Warrior's probably the choice, but I think Andre is kind of an interesting outside the box choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Andre too because he won Survivor Series, right? He ran the first Survivor Series main event, and now he wins the Royal Rumble, and that really sets him up for that title match at the main event. So, I mean, if you want to go Andre here,
yeah, it's almost like he's revving up. Like it's like he's avenging. Like he hadn't lost in like 20 years, right? Into 20 years. So it's like, oh, I lost this. Now I'm going to make sure I never lose anything again. And
let's go Andre. I think Andre's the best choice, more than even the Warrior, because I don't think Warrior's quite there yet, but I like Andre. Let's go with that officially.
Warrior's the character boost. Andre is the compelling storyline.
Yeah, and it's almost like a proto what they're going to do in future years with the main title shot. He gets the title shot at the main event. They're hyping that up.
Yeah.
You don't need the contract signing here, or you can do it anyway. You can do the contract signing earlier, and then he wins the Rumble at the end of the night. I mean, you can still have it.
And I mean, like maybe this is too modern a slant, but like you could have him take out someone and take his place. Like
yeah, if you wanted to do that too. But I think him coming in at 20 and just like having 4 or 5 guys in there still, and he just throws them all out easily.
Jake, Duggan, like all the
Brett,
top faces,
Tito, like whoever, and he cleans them out. All right, 89. This is a no-brainer to rebook, obviously. Big John Studd, Mr. Perfect's the Iron Man. Hogan had the most eliminated. Obviously, Studd winning makes 0 sense in any regard. So I think DiBiase is probably the choice here. Or
easy. No, easy.
Yeah.
Like Studd, like I get it. Like you're reintroducing him, right? You're reintroducing him. You're trying to get him over with the fans, but they didn't have any plans for him. Like if he was going on to, like if he was going to fight Andre, but what happened? He just got.
That was the plan. I think the plan was he was going to deal with Akeem till Mania. And then post-Mania, I think it was supposed to be Stud Andre, but they realized he just didn't have anything in the tank. Right. So I do think they were planning to make that a feud. So I think that's why they did it. But you can see clearly here, he's out of shape. He's got like nothing left in the tank. No one cares in the Rumble, man. Like, and the back end is dead because the Hogan Savage. What kills this Rumble is the Mega Powers happens in the middle versus the end, or at least 2/3 of the way in. I've always believed you should do it at the very end, even if you have Stud win. But I think DiBiase, bought number 30. He paid to have the Twin Towers in there together. I think your final 6 is DiBiase, the Twin Towers, Hogan, Beefcake, and then whoever else you want to have out there. I guess Jake goes out early with Andre, but I guess in my world, Stud's out. So put someone else in there. Duggan, maybe he's not the 6th man. Pick another face, whoever you want. So it's 3-on-3. Hercules. Hercules is part of the Mega Powers anyway. So you got Hogan, Savage, Hercules, DiBiase, Beefcake, Twin Towers, whatever. So that's how you whittle it down. And then DiBiase's like throwing money at the Twin Towers to handle shit, right? They get taken out, but they pull Hogan out anyway. Savage gets thrown out during that fray, all the same way. And DiBiase almost wins by default. So it's like it comes down to the Mega Powers, the Twin Towers, the DiBiase. And you just do the same finish. Like Hogan knocks out. Yeah.
I was gonna say, or you keep Herc around to DiBiase thinks he's won, but Herc's still there, and they have that business of didn't he sell him as a slave?
Yeah. That was earlier, right before that.
And then DiBiase can overcome or because he's fresh.
Yeah, or just have him, or have Hercules not there, and have Hogan knocks out Savage and Boss Man together, right? Say something like that. Boss Man pulls him out. Or Hogan then knocks out Akeem. Boss Man pulls Hogan toward the rope, and DiBiase clotheslines him over the top or something. Like if you want to do it that way. Like that. So, and then it happens fast. It just all happens fast. So, okay. I think that's an easy one. I think DiBiase's the choice.
Yeah, DiBiase's easy.
Okay. All right. 1990, Hulk Hogan wins. DiBiase's the Iron Man. Hogan a Warrior, eliminates 6. Perfect is the last guy. The rumors have always been that Perfect was originally planned. I don't know if I buy it. I think Hogan is always the plan for this one, especially heading toward Mania.
Yeah.
But Perfect's not my choice.
I don't think I'm not trying to be contrarian, but I think I see three people that I think might be more interesting choices. So who's your choice? I'm sure it's different.
The guy that we were talked about for 88, I would have Warrior win on the path to Mania.
Oh, yeah.
I think that you still do the Ultimate Showdown and all that, and you almost just reverse it where Hogan gets ganged up on and dumped out and Warrior wins.
Yeah.
I don't have Warrior eliminate
that.
Hogan like Hogan did, though. I have just like
maybe
the whole Heenan family's in there together. Yeah, maybe it's the whole, like it's Perfect, it's Rude, or in another guy or whatever, and they gang up and throw him out.
Yeah, I think you still want you obviously still want all that stare down and everything. But yeah, no, Warrior is the logical choice for me too. But let's throw a couple other names in just in case. I think in lieu of not Perfect, I think actually considering where they're going, Rude would have been an interesting choice. Considering they're going title match later in the year. Plus he's one of those guys that didn't win a ton. And let me throw another weird name out there. He's in there very early. But I think if you didn't want to do Hogan and you didn't want to do Warrior, I think throwing a bone to the American Dream Dusty Rhodes might be interesting in this context because he's as over as them, not quite as over as them, but he's right there. It's a different guy, and you already have like Warrior and Hogan kind of off to the side. So I think if you're not going to build Rude and you're not going to do Warrior, someone in that early, like in that early hot period might be interesting.
Yeah, Dusty's super over, and you're setting him up for a big match with Savage at Mania. That feud starts earlier in the night. So, yeah, you can see a world where Dusty and Savage are the last two, and Dusty eliminates them. So I'm okay with that. I like that better than Rude, I think. I just don't know if they knew yet that they were where they're headed with Rude. That feels like a quick pivot, but maybe not. I don't know.
They tell him to cut his. Well, I think by Mania they have it because they send him out there with the new haircut. He crushes Coco. Like, is it Coco? No, Snuka. Right?
Oh, Snuka, yeah. But he doesn't have the haircut yet. He does it right after Mania. But yes, he beats Snuka pretty easily. Yeah, I mean, I think by Mania, I agree that they knew that was going to be the top guy right after. But you also, one guy we didn't mention is Earthquake, who is in the match. He has a great performance in the match. You're setting he's going to kill Hogan in a couple of months. So I think he's an option too.
I wonder if they knew what they had yet with him. Like, if he's
I think they knew there was something there, I think. But probably not. But again, like Rude, I mean, they do the thing where he kills Hogan. It's like a week after Mania. So they had to have figured it out fairly quickly. Yeah. And he is involved in the main event with Hogan and Warrior in February. So, yeah. I'll throw one more like crazy outside the box. One of Demolition.
Oh, okay. Are they, the best? The best would be if they're the last two.
Yes.
Because the year before they're the first two. Yeah.
I was thinking that. Like, it'd be kind of cool. They're super over. They're headed toward taking out the Colossal Connection. So, like, what if it's them and Andre as the last three? And they work together, dump Andre, and then they fight and axe or smash whoever wins.
Well, and then they know they have to fight, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's really great storytelling if they had to fight. But I think ultimately the best choice is Warrior. But
I think we go with Warrior here.
But I mean, that's the crazy thing about 90. Like 90, we could throw out 10 more guys and it would make sense because everyone is, when you watch that match, everyone is so over, right? Yeah. Like Piper, Savage, DiBiase, like any of them, Jake, could have could have done it.
I mean, you could have even done Boss Man because he's about to turn face and like a big angle heading to Mania. I mean, so like, there's definitely, I mean, I mentioned him as kind of a joke earlier, but Beefcake. I mean, Beefcake is super over here. The Genius match headed to Mania. So, like, that's another. Yeah. There's at least 10 guys that are like, well, maybe not that, but there's at least 10 guys that are legitimate, like, options in this one.
If they were ever going to do the bullshit where, like, someone wins automatically, like, everybody wanted to do, the Genius is the best possible person for that.
Yes.
For the celebration alone of the prancing and, like.
Yeah, and this was the time if you're ever going to do it with him. Like, he had just beaten Hogan on freaking Saturday Night's main event. So
he beat Hogan.
All right, so 90 we'll go with the Warrior. Because that's probably the last chance we have to go with him anyway. All right, 91, Hogan wins. Martel's the Iron Man. Hogan most eliminations. I know you've talked in the past that you felt Martel should have just won this.
Not should have, but I think he's a good option.
Right, could have. I'd say he's up there. I'd say Earthquake. This is one where I think maybe he could have won to reestablish him with the Hogan feud. I do think Hogan's the perfect choice for this one. So this is a little bit of a tricky one in here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyone jump to your mind?
Well, Martel is my big pick.
Yeah.
The only reason I think Earthquake is a good choice too. The only reason I balk on Earthquake a bit is because they don't really do too much with him. Like after, like at least
no, you'd have to
until the summer.
If he wins the Rumble, you'd have to be setting something up for Mania with him big, like then just beating Valentine.
The reason I always lean on Martel is because number one, his performance is so good, but number two, it is the biggest match of his WWF career at WrestleMania after, right? He's already like blinded a man. Let's throw out another name of a dude who's coming back that you might want to beef up a bit, and maybe Davey Boy Smith. Like
he's on my short list. Yep.
Another.
I was thinking him too. I got two other ones. I got Bret Hart. I think you're starting to set him up for his solo run. He has a good performance in the match, and then Undertaker obviously is a possibility. He had just debuted. Has a bit of a strong showing, and then I had one other one in mind. Oh, Bossman. I mentioned him on the last one.
Bossman. I was about to say, yeah.
Well, because you can have the Heenan family at the end. It could be like him, Haku, Barbarian, Perfect. He's going to go through all of them, and he eliminates them all and wins the match, and then gets the IC title match at Mania from it.
Yeah. I like that. I like that pick. That might be the best one.
Yeah, I don't think they give Martel the win. I just don't see it at this point.
Well, that is irrelevant whether they would, because they won't give it to Bossman either.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I think it's more just what is the creative option for us. But I think I like the idea of the big Bossman winning something big, and
I just think, and even in our world, I think Martel's like not a big enough name at this point to win this. I know he's got the good feud with Jake. He almost doesn't need it because he's got that feud going into Mania. Like, I don't think it adds a ton to him, just his career resume. I think Bossman really could have used it to propel the Heenan family story, especially if he eliminates. And then if you want to get really crazy, you could have Heenan in the friggin' match, right? So Heenan enters the Rumble and he's hiding from Bossman the whole time. Bossman's stalking him. Yeah. The Heenan family guys are in front of him. They get picked off one by one. And maybe he throws Bobby and then Perfect out to win the match or something like that.
Or, since you've put Heenan in the match, have Heenan eliminate Bossman to win.
Yeah, Heenan could win. Yes.
That would be awesome. And then Bossman fucking beats the shit out of him at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I wonder if he just wasn't able to probably at that point, right? I think his health was kind of physical health because he stops.
It was 2 years. 2 years from his last Mania, right?
Yeah, and then he has that weird match with Fuji or whatever.
Yeah, but I'm sure that.
But that's like a gimmicked up one. I think he was done because he stops managing because he can't take the bumps anymore.
Right. Well, he's
and that's by Mania. Yeah, that's at Mania. So all right, let's go, Bossman. I think Bossman's as good a choice as any. He's at his peak of being over, I think.
Yeah.
All right, 92. This is a funny one because you got Ric Flair wins, obviously. Flair's the Iron Man. Sid, most eliminations. So I think this is an interesting one because Flair is the perfect choice. It's the best Rumble performance of all time. Best Rumble ever. So he's the best choice. But if there was a year where you had to have alternate options, there's a lot in this match. So it doesn't hurt it as much as you would think because there's so many other options. So you got Sid.
But it's still for the title, right?
It's still for the title. Yes.
Okay.
So you got Savage, you got Sid, you got Hogan, right? Those are the three easy ones off the top. Taker.
Yeah.
Jake. Yeah. Heel Jake, who's red hot.
Yeah. I mean, look, my heart, you know where my heart lies on this one.
Yeah.
But I think Jake might be the most interesting one because heel Jake is like, I might like heel Jake more than Sid. Which like hurts my heart.
And it sets up Savage winning the belt anyway at Mania because you just do Savage Jake at Mania.
Yeah.
And you could do Hogan Flair non-title, right? And then Sid
ends the streak and powerbomb Sid powerbombs Undertaker and ends the streak.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good top three if we're losing Savage Flair, which sucks, but if you get Savage Jake for the world title, Flair Hogan, and Sid Undertaker.
I honestly feel like I look, Savage Flair is one of my it might be my favorite match. I recognize it's not like the best match ever, but it might be my favorite. But I think if you give Savage and Jake time, like the same amount of time as Flair Savage, I think the result can be as high.
Right.
Like because even when I love their Tuesday in Texas match, I love the Saturday Night's Main Event match. Both of those are sprints, right? I think they're both sub 10 minutes, right? And one of them's like 6 minutes. So like, if you give these guys time to tell the story, get Elizabeth involved, get the drama going, I think you might have something really special there.
And you finally give Jake the title he never got. So I like that. One other name I'll throw is Piper. If you want to do the double title win moment, he wins the IC on the undercard and then the world title in the main event. I think that could have been cool. I don't know if you do Piper Flair at Mania off of that. Like, I'm not sure where you go with it, but let's go Jake. I think it feels like, again, it's like Warrior, it's like Boss Man. You're never going to get another chance to give it to him. Boss Man is another option here though, because he's also super over again.
Yeah.
But I think Jake has the story and the angle and the heat and the natural progressions to Savage at Mania.
Yeah. And also Boss Man kind of tapers off after this. Like, not that it's bad, but like you can make the argument his 91. I was trying to compare, we're talking about 91, Martel's rest of 91 versus Boss Man's just quickly. But Boss Man has like a pretty stellar 91. He's got the IC title defense, he's got the whole feud with the Mountie, and it goes on and on and on. But 92, the nail shit.
But would he have done more though if he wins the world title in the Rumble? I mean, obviously would have had a much different year, but I like Jake. I mean, Jake never had the world title. He's awesome as a heel. It was over. I think it's a great pick. I mean, and it's not what you would have thought coming in. I thought we were going to go Sid probably. So that's a good one.
No.
All right. 93, Yokozuna wins. Bob Backlund's the Iron Man. Yoko most eliminated. I think I'd go Savage. Gets his one Rumble win and fights Brett at Mania in the match we should have probably had a Mania. Push Yoko out a little bit. And Brett goes over Savage clean to retain in like a respect match.
Yeah, I love that choice. The only other choice I see is Perfect as the returning guy. But I find that the Savage Brett match is so much more attractive than another. And we're going to get a Perfect Brett match later in the year anyway. So I think Savage is the obvious choice here.
The other option is, if you can extend his contract a little bit longer, is you get Flair this one. And I guess in this world he won 92 as well. But you could do Flair wins and fights Perfect at Mania or something. I don't know how you get the belt on him, but whatever. Yeah. Let's go Savage. Yeah. I think Savage Brett at 9 is like a great story, and Brett beats him, and
we've been screaming it for decades. It feels like.
Mm-hmm. All right, 94. We have the tie, Luger and Brett. Bigelow's the Iron Man. Luger and Diesel had most eliminations. So I guess Luger and Brett are both off the table for us here. Look at matches though.
Yeah, sadly.
They're both off the table.
They're not shaking hands on your shirt though.
No, they're not. They're just kind of posing.
But they're on the right side, at least. You managed to line up the side. Yeah. So
I don't know. Anyone jump out at you right off the top?
No, this one's hard because I don't want to give it to Doink. It's hard because who is it?
Well, I got two. I mean, one, to me, the more realistic one is Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I'm thinking Michaels too, but he's just not there yet. Like
right.
Scott Steiner, is that the other one?
Yes, that's my guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's good.
We've always talked about like this could have been the year that they give him that big singles push. Maybe it keeps him from going to Japan. You can still be with Rick and do some tag stuff, but then you set him up to take out Yoko at Mania and be the guy.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's the best choice. I think Michaels is actually really excellent in this match. And I think he's coming along as a character, but I don't think he's ready yet. And I wouldn't want to create a world in which we lose that ladder match at WrestleMania.
Right. So Razor can't be the guy either.
No.
I mean, Bigelow, but again, you got Yoko as champion. So unless he's going to lose, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, I think Scott Steiner's the guy, unless you pull the trigger on Diesel earlier.
There you go. Plug from producer, not the tool man, Tim. We did do a what if on this, of course. Scott Steiner. What if he got pushed? And we might have actually had him win the Rumble in that.
It's possible, yeah.
But That's my pick. I think he's the best choice. I think he should have.
Yeah, let's do it.
That would have been a cool
Let's do it. I'm good with that.
All right. 1995, Shawn Michaels winner. Shawn Michaels Iron Man. Shawn Michaels most eliminations with 8, but he does not win in all worlds.
This one's impossible because there's like 4 conceivable winners in it.
I think it's an easy one.
Really? I think you got 2 choices. Is
Yeah.
it Luger your choice? That would have been my choice too, but I'll throw one other name out there that I think is worthy, is Owen Hart.
Yeah.
But I think Luger's the best.
Well,
choice.
do you have Brett win the belt from Diesel in the undercard, and then you do Brett Owen blow off at Mania?
I think if you're doing Owen, that would be the one to do it. I don't know what the match would be. You know, maybe you do an Iron Man match with them.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, you could do that.
I mean,
Or just do
nice,
the no holds barred that they did on Action Zone, or whatever the fuck that they did. Or Raw. They had like a no holds barred match. They could have done that. I think Luger winning and turning heel against Diesel at Mania would have been a good way to go about it, because you kind of finally get him going. Yeah. One other path, but I don't know if it fits the construct of this project, is Diesel doesn't beat Backlund in MSG. Backlund comes into the show as champion and Diesel wins the Rumble. And then you do Diesel Backlund at Mania. I mean,
that's what they should have. That's what they should have done, probably. But yes, I don't think it fits the construct. What about LT? Let's get LT in there, fucking tossing.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the contract. He's in the crowd.
He's in the building.
Yeah,
but no, I think Luger's the choice. He's the sane choice.
I mean, Bigelow could have been too, but if you're going LT Bigelow, you could have done Diesel Bigelow as a choice as well. But
yeah,
let's go Luger. I like giving Luger the win. Maybe you keep him happier in 95. Yeah.
I wonder if Bigelow were to win it, is he like, I'm not challenging for the belt, I'm challenging LT, and
yeah, you could have done that.
Stupid choice. Yeah.
I think Luger winning, turning heel, fighting Diesel at Mania. I think that's a good path. Again, maybe he's happier and he sticks around, and maybe never shows up on the first Nitro. There's a big trickle down from that.
Yeah. Where's that white?
All right,
shirt?
90. He still wears the puffy shirt. Shawn Michaels wins 96. Triple H is the Iron Man, the most one of the worst Iron Men of all time, as we documented previously. But 45 minutes of absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Brutal. Shawn Michaels eliminates 8 guys in this one. This is a tough one, because to me, there's years in the Rumble where there's this obvious picks, and it's smart to go the obvious path. There's Hogan in 91, Michaels 96. We'll get to in a couple years. There's another one.
98.
Yeah, exactly. So there's just like, there's the ones that just you had to go with the chalk pick. And so this is one of them to me. Like, Shawn was the pick this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're not going to do Omari, you're going to do Shawn. Right.
Or Doug Gilbert.
Or the, what are the fat guys, the big black fat guys?
Squat
what are they
team.
called? The squat team? Or wasn't Dory Funk in this one too? No one talks about this. Everyone's like, oh, 97, it's all the luchadors. What about this piece of shit with like Bob Holly and Triple H taking a nap?
It's a low-key, not good Rumble. I mean, Chad and I went through it pretty detailed, the Wrestling Warzone a few years back. And I mean, Brett Taker is fucking dreadful. It's so boring. The undercard is not great, and the Rumble match is pretty boring. The crowd sucks. It's kind of a low-key, sneaky, bad show. I don't know another option. I mean, Diesel's hot, but you're gonna go Diesel Brett again at Mania? Yeah, you're not gonna do that.
Razor, you can maybe Razor. You can do Razor. You could do Davey, but you're not gonna do WrestleMania Davey Brett again.
Well, they're coming off In Your House, which was awesome, so you could run it back, but Brett beat him clean, so I guess you'd have to change the finish there, maybe, you know.
But he beat him clean, but kind of fluky. Doesn't he roll him up with a small package or like?
And that was an awesome match. I mean, if that's a Mania main event, that's an all-time Mania main event, that match. So, like, I don't think it's too crazy to run that back.
What about? Do you think it would make a difference if Fatu was in there?
I don't know. He didn't make enough of a difference to stick around. What about Austin?
He's just not ready yet, but yes. I mean, like, I wonder how much of that is hindsight of us. Like, well, we know what he becomes, so it makes sense. But then it wasn't really clear.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty hyped about him, but
yeah, me too.
I think we're missing an easy one. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you could go off the reservation a bit too, and go for Goldust. Like, Goldust was very hot as a character, so.
I think we're missing an easy one.
What is it?
Vader time. have him debut
Oh,
in the
yeah.
fucking Rumble.
Yeah.
And
I thought you were going to say,
Shawn.
oh, yeah, Savio Vega.
No, I think
Yeah, that's Vader. It's Vader. Yeah, it's Vader.
yeah, Vader wins and fights Brett at Mania and wins the title.
Yeah, great. I like that. Put that in.
That's a great first 3 months for him.
Yeah.
All right, and I guess in this world it doesn't have a fucked up.
Great
shoulder, so.
picture from Tim.
Yes, 1997. Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's the Iron Man, the winner, most eliminations at 10, all-time Rumble performance.
Yeah, incredible.
Obviously, one of the greatest Rumble performers ever. Overall, perfect choice to win this. I think the other option would be Brett, just wins.
Yeah. But there's others. I mean, like, there's really, like, that's the great thing about this Rumble is, like, when it gets down to the end, you could conceivably see any of them winning it, right?
Right.
Like you could do Vader, you could do Undertaker. A weird outside the box pick, you could do Rocky Maivia, like
Hector Garza.
which is definitely Hector Garza.
That's Vince
No
Russo's
mascaras.
pick.
But yeah, I think Brett is the obvious one. And I don't need. Maybe we're over. We don't need to get too cute with it. You know what? Another fun one could have been is Ahmed Johnson.
Right.
Like, he's as hot as he ever is there, and I don't know. Makes sense to me that maybe he gets that because Brett is clearly like a safe pick. Ahmed might be a more risky proposition, but
yeah, I would say. I mean, I don't want to go Vader 2 years in a row.
No, I don't either. But it's funny because if you didn't know any better in '96, like summer of '96, you might be saying, "Oh, okay, Ahmed's going to win the Rumble this year."
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think it's crazy.
Especially after he wins that battle royal and he gets hurt.
Right. But the problem is it takes him out of the Farouk stuff for Mania. Like, so you really can do Ahmed and I mean, the thing is, we don't even have like the champions all over the place. So like Shawn wins at this, but he's not the champion. Like, so I think you could just have Taker win. Sid wins the belt, and just, I mean, he's gonna get the Mania title shot anyway.
Or Farouk.
No, please, no, please, no.
Please don't. Oh, please. But again, like, it just depends on what you're trying to set up, right? Like Sid Taker is one of the worst Mania main events of all time. Maybe the worst. Yeah. And that's me as the biggest Sid mark on earth talking about this. You're going to keep Brett Austin no matter what, right?
Well, because you're going to undo Brett Shawn still at this point.
I guess.
It's not Brett Austin yet. It's Brett Shawn still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I say we give it to Brett or Taker. Those are my two choices.
Let's just do Brett and get him out of here.
Yeah.
It's his last one.
He's not going to win another one. So
unless we want to give him like 2011 or something. All right, 98.
All right. Well, this is the other one, right? Where it's just the perfect winner.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, another one with like not very many, not a ton of other options.
Right.
Like in terms of, because it's actually a pretty soft field.
I think you have to go outside the field maybe a little bit on this one. I mean, I got a crazy one in my head.
Are you thinking Undertaker and Kane?
No.
Okay, because you got a dangerous man in there that might be an interesting choice.
No, knuckle up. I think no. My choice is none of the men you've mentioned so far.
Okay, who is it?
The baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson.
Okay, well, all right, sure.
Well, so let's think about it for a sec. Tyson wins, and all of a sudden they're like, "What do we do? Like, we're gonna have Tyson fight Shawn Michaels for the world title." And then whatever happens, they figure out, they get a path where then you end up doing Austin Tyson. And then you do the Michaels Owen. Owen's the other choice to win this, right? Because that was a path they were potentially headed down. Owen goes back to get revenge for Brett from Montreal. He wins the Rumble and fights Shawn at Mania. And then you do Austin Tyson separately. So I would say, Rock is a dark horse. Shamrock.
Rock's not there yet. Like Shamrock, I think you could bump up, but Rock is not there yet, I don't think.
I think I'm going Owen or Tyson.
You're not considering the Harris brothers?
Maybe Skull, but not Abel.
Okay, I would have said Skull also. Let's go Owen. Let's give Owen some love. I love Tyson, but he's like I think that one requires like a lot of gymnastics to get, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but
yeah. I mean, there was rumors that him and Austin was going to happen in Mania, right? So like, it wasn't crazy that he may wrestle. And then it's not crazy to think like, oh, they're going to put him in the Rumble. Like, oh, we have a huge announcement. Mike Tyson's going to be in the Royal Rumble.
I just think if you are gonna have Tyson wrestle, you're gonna have him wrestle Steve Austin, who's not the champion. So
I know. Yeah, you're gonna have to logic leap it. Yeah.
Yeah. So all that to be said is, even if you put him in the Rumble, to sell that story, it's probably best if Austin throws him out or something, like to set up that feud.
Yeah. And if you're going to get to Owen Shawn anyway at Mania with Austin Tyson, you just have to get Owen to win. Okay. Owen's the most logical.
Yeah. Hart Boys, last 2 years.
1999, of course, Mr. McMahon wins. He's the Iron Man. Austin with 8 eliminations. I would just have Austin win this one. I think it's
put Austin in there.
An easy one.
Yeah. Again, it's not one that like you don't want to fuck with Austin Rock. The other option is Foley, but he's had the title shots the whole way through.
No, Austin wins. He fights Rock at Mania. He can still fight Vince at Massacre for the title shot. Like Vince, he puts it up against Vince in the cage. What's the difference?
It's like I'll fight you if you put your title shot online. It's nice and easy.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. All right, 2000, The Rock wins. Test is the Iron Man. Rikishi with 7 eliminations. You could argue Big Show really won, and Rock could be our rebooked winner.
Let's not do that. Take the cowards away.
Who do you like?
I like Kurt, or I like Chris Jericho. I think those are the options for me.
So you're going, I don't think Kurt is there yet. I mean, we keep saying, oh, he's not there yet. He's not these guys. Like Kurt's where like Rock was a couple years ago.
You have to see them fighting in the main event.
I think Jericho is a potential option because you kind of do that on Raw like 2 weeks after Mania anyway, and it's believable when he beats him.
I mean, considering where they go with the main event, you could give it to someone unconventional like Rikishi if you wanted.
Right.
But I think I'd rather have Jericho in that spot than Rikishi.
How about Test?
No, thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying he was kind of part of this original story and everything.
Yeah, but once you watch that match and you watch his Iron Man performance, you don't want to include him in anything, not even a cookout.
Yeah, he doesn't have it. Shane comes back for vengeance.
Maybe. Taz. The surprises in the Rumble.
Right. I mean, you could just say a Big Show, and then you still take the same convoluted path to Mania if you want to give him because he was he was pretty over. He had been world champion. He's believable. Got screwed by Triple H on Raw. Yeah. Now you think you're going to another Big Show Triple H rematch, but it gets jumbled up.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but I think the spirit of this is to be a bit different. With it, right?
Yeah. Let's go Jericho. So, I think Jericho's a good one.
Yeah.
It's not like his Mania. Well, his Mania match is nothing big, but I mean, if you want to use the rule I threw out earlier with guys that debuted, I mean, the Radicals debut like a week later, so you could have them debut here, maybe get out of their contracts a week earlier, and Benoit wins the Rumble and fights Triple H at Mania. Like if you want to go big out of the gate.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sure. There's no way they do it, but yes.
Let's go Jericho.
I think Jericho's the way. Or China? You want to do China?
I mean, if there's a year to do it, this is the one.
Co-champion.
Yeah. All right, let's go. All right, so we'll go Jericho in 2000. 01, Austin wins. Kane is the Iron Man. Kane with 11 eliminations. It's so hard because he's awesome in the match. He's fantastic. He was high on your tier list. He's fantastic, but like he's not going to Mania. Yeah, he's not going to Mania.
He's not the choice. Yeah, look, it's this one to me seems like a bit of a no-brainer. It's Rock. Yeah. Because his performance in this match is often forgotten because he comes in at like 12 or 13 and is excellent throughout the whole thing.
So how do you get to Mania though? Is he you have Austin going as champion? Because that ruins the whole story if Austin comes in as champion.
No, well, you I think you slightly adjust the story. You say you base it on Rock being like, last time I faced you at WrestleMania, like I was just a young kid, and now it's time for me to put you in your place. And you see in the build up, Austin is getting bested by him. And then if you still want to do the heel turn that we talked about on one of our last episodes, you do it, but it's as a consequence of not being able to beat The Rock.
Yeah, and he's just desperate to retain the title. So, okay, let's go with Rock. He's going to win one. And again, this is probably one of his last shots. All right, 0-2, Triple H wins. Austin is the Iron Man. Austin and Taker, most eliminations with 7. It's crazy. Austin is the Iron Man. That's crazy because he comes in not that.
I know, eh?
Not super early.
He comes in. He's in the late teens, I think. It's one of those ones that doesn't have a long guy. This to me is a big no-brainer. We have the same guy. Is it a no-brainer for you too?
You go an Angle?
No.
Mr. Perfect? Maven? RVD, yeah. It's RVD.
Like, he certainly should not have come in, taken a fucking pedigree, and be thrown out in under a minute.
No, definitely not. I mean, I think Austin is an option.
Sure, yes.
In this one, right?
Austin's always an option. Angle's always an option. But I think this is the RVD was as hot as he ever was. And like,
I think what they should have done, if we've rebooked WrestleMania 18 ad nauseum on all our shows, but what I think we should have done right now, I'm going to throw in the line in the sand. Angle eliminates Triple H. They fight at Mania, non-title. And that's the big feud that's been going on for 2 years. They blow that off. Yeah. Austin beats Jericho at No Way Out. And then RVD beats Austin at Mania for the world title. Like that's
because they have their story from the last year.
That brings it full circle for them.
Yeah. One other outside the box option. I don't know if he's there yet. Hogan.
Hogan. Yeah, no, he comes back. It's a No Way Out. So, I mean, he's not that far off. So, yeah, you could have Hogan come back early and win.
But I still think RVD is the choice. But NWO Hogan showing up as a surprise. Holy shit. Imagine. Like.
That would have been insane.
Number 30. Like with no warning.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he wins. Rock beats Jericho or you just have Rock win here at the Rumble. He beats Jericho, get the title back, and you build to Rock Hogan for the title at 18.
Yeah. Wait, and then it actually gets the main event the show, which it should have done. Yeah.
Let's go RVD for the spirit that he was in the match and deserves it. But I like the Hogan thing. It's interesting.
Very different.
All right, 0-3, Brock Lesnar won. Jericho's the Iron Man, had the most eliminations with 6. I think this is one where it's the perfect winner. So it is a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
Well,
there is one big option. There's one other huge option.
What
it's fucked over at Mania. Booker.
Yeah, Booker just wins and sets up. And it's a better setup for Mania because the way they get there is kind of weak anyway.
Oh, you mean the racial angle wasn't the way to go?
Well, he wins the Battle Royal, right? With Rock, he throws Rock out or whatever the fuck. Yeah,
I hate when they do that shit because it's like, okay, but then why enter the Rumble?
Right.
Why enter this grueling match with 29 other guys when I can win a 20-man?
Yeah, fill the junk from Raw. One option is you could bring Hollywood Rock back a few weeks early, and he comes out with the entrance, and he's like big time and everyone, and he wins. But you're not going to probably do Rock and Angle at Mania or Rock Triple H. So I think I like Booker winning. I think
it's Booker.
You know, him winning and winning the title. I think the other option is Shawn. If you want to do Shawn Triple H at Mania instead of Shawn Jericho.
Right.
You know, playing off there back and forth in late 02.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel with all the ones where it's the perfect, like where they already have the perfect winner, it always feels like a shitty compromise. It's like, Booker T, but you know.
Yeah, Brock's the guy. I mean, and I don't even want to pick anyone else to challenge Angle because Brock challenging Angle is perfect. Like that shouldn't change in any way.
But he didn't necessarily need to do the Rumble to get there. Like he could have done a Heyman gauntlet or an Team Angle gauntlet, or you know.
I mean, this is another one you could say Benoit too. Like he was pretty over in late 02. He loses to Angle and then re-enters and wins, but he challenges Triple H. He's like, I'm done with SmackDown because they keep getting screwed by Heyman or whatever the hell he wants to say, and he's going to jump to Raw. So that's an option. But again, I'd like to not pick him. So let's go Booker. Let's go Booker here.
Yeah.
I think he deserves it.
Yeah.
All right, 2004, Benoit, and Orton have the most eliminations. Is this too soon for Orton?
Probably, but it doesn't feel that way because it's the next month. But then they botched that anyway.
Right. Eddie, and then you just have Eddie beat Angle at Mania instead of No Way Out, or beat Brock at Mania instead of No Way Out.
Maybe
Shawn.
Goldberg or Shawn.
Goldberg's on his way out the door, though. I think they kind of started to know it maybe around here. Maybe not, but I don't think they commit to him with a win like this.
Ernest the Cat Miller.
Somebody call my mama.
Just dances. It's hard, this one. This one's quite hard because it's like it feels like nobody else is ready. Unless you want to unless you could probably do Cena because there's 2 belts, right?
Right.
I don't think Cena was that far from it.
Yeah. Do Cena Eddie's champ going in. I think I would just have Eddie win, and because Brock Goldberg sucks anyway, so I think you have Eddie win. He beats Brock in his final match at Mania, wins the title. Brock leaves, and then you do Batista. You could do Benoit, Triple H anyway.
Yeah, the only thing that I worry in that scenario is that it starts to look like Eddie's just getting the belt because Brock's leaving, which I don't know. But
he wins the Rumble, and they didn't know Brock was leaving yet. So if he wins the Rumble, he was marching that way anyway.
When does Eugene come in?
Not till after Mania.
Okay. Because I've always thought there was money on the table. Maybe we'll talk about it in the next one. We'll talk about it in the next one. For this one, let's do
Shawn is another option. You can just not have him and Triple H fight on this undercard, do something else. And because they had that great match on Raw that everyone loved. And everyone was pretty excited for Shawn and Triple H at the show, actually. It just kind of ended up fart bombing. But you could just have Shawn win the Rumble and fight Triple H at Mania.
Let's do Eddie. I think Eddie's a better story.
Yeah. Okay.
Eddie's
all right. 05. 05's Batista. Benoit again was the Iron Man. Batista has the most eliminations with 6. Cena is obviously the runner-up. But Gus, write it for us this wonderful Eugene story.
So it's not Eugene. It's not Eugene. But I remember in the course of the Eugene feud, this 2 or 3 week period that happened, and they never did anything with it, when Regal stood up to defend Eugene.
Right.
And I fucking loved it. I loved how intense Regal was. I loved that he looked like he was going to murder Triple H. And I think they just fought on Raw. You know what I mean? But I think that's I know the choices are probably Cena or Batista, whatever. But I think this is a really decent outside the box suggestion.
It's like I like it. I just don't know if you can burn it this far because Eugene, that happens. It's late summer, early fall. That's a long burn for him in the way they'd always present him. I like it. I like it as an option.
I think you can if you do something to get rid of Regal for a while. You beat him up badly
Evolution kicks the shit out of him.
Yeah, and this is his return. I don't know if it's the best option, but I always thought there was money on the table with a main event program with Regal and Triple H during this period, with Regal as a face. And even if Triple H was going to beat him every time, I think there was something really interesting there that they just didn't.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's a Rumble the Mania type of story. That's all.
Yeah, but the thing with that is that it almost never matters in this era because you always have that other belt, right? So it's like you could make one match that little bit lesser than in terms of star power.
It's just never going to be Triple H. Well, especially after he was in 03 with Booker. I guess the year before he main evented, so whatever. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I'm not against it. The other option is Cena, but that seems almost like a cheat, with the Brett Luger thing. I mean, they both kind of win. I mean, this is lazy. He fights JBL anyway. So, I'm fine not being lazy with that. Orton's another one. If you can figure out if to go with Orton, we have to go back to September or August and rebook the way Evolution breaks up to make Orton stronger. Triple H screws him out of the title and then Orton wins the
Yeah.
Rumble, and he's super over. The problem is they butchered that face run, and they burned off the match at the Rumble because Batista got way more over than Orton, so they flipped the script on it.
Well, how do you? Of course, he got more over. He wasn't presented like a total loser.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you could even have Orton win and be like, "I'm not coming after the title. I'm coming after the streak."
Right.
But Flair at the end with Batista. He throws out.
I mean, you got
Batista.
Shawn, you got Angle, but you got to kind of need them against each other.
Yeah, and that doesn't need a title. Cena's already
You got
there.
Eddie. Eddie's just
Edge, no. Mysterio,
He's
no.
already-
We saw how that
Benoit,
goes.
Jericho.
No, it's not the same anymore, right? Like, he's not in that. I know he
Well,
challenges at SummerSlam.
I will say this: when they do that, who is it that beats Triple H on Raw? They do the double pin. Is that Benoit and Edge or Benoit and Jericho? Remember they both pin him and they hold the belt
I
up
don't
and they
remember.
put it up in it's in the chamber for the title. It's like Benoit.
Yeah.
It might be Benoit and Jericho, but that gets like a big pop. Like it was a big moment, but
Yeah. But I don't know if that's a testament to Jericho or if that's a testament to like everybody hating Triple H.
Yeah.
Orton maybe feels like the better choice.
Yeah, I would say Orton. I mean, I like the Regal idea if you want it to be different. I don't care. I don't think this is good. I say we avoid Cena because I think it's like against the spirit of the project. So.
Fuck it. Let's put Regal. Let's just put Regal.
Yeah, let's go Regal. Let's go to him. All right, 2006. Anyone better than Rey Mysterio who wins
anybody.
Bullshit Iron Man. I just watched this recently for War, and it just does not hold up. The show sucks. The Rumble sucks.
Yeah.
Rey's performance
It's
sucks.
terrible.
I honestly,
awful.
yeah.
No, he's
I
really
think I would
bad.
give this. I think I would give this to Triple H because he's actually really good in the match, and he's really he gets a big pop when he comes out. He's really, really good in the match. And then you set up him and Cena for the title anyway. Another option is you let Edge. You could have Cena win the Rumble and let Edge keep the belt until Mania. So have Cena be the Rumble winner. Or another one could be shit. I had it in my head now. I just lost it.
Umaga? No, he's not there yet.
He's not quite there yet. Who the hell was it? I was just thinking of it. Hang on, let me look at the
Undertaker?
The
Undertaker. 06 is a weird year.
Yeah, I had one other guy in mind. Let me look at the field real quick. Oh, RVD. You wanted to do RVD again because he comes back off the injury and he's big over, and you're gonna pump him to Money in the Bank anyway. So you could have him win the Rumble and fight Triple H, or fight Cena, do the one night stand match early. Although I think without the atmosphere, it's not as hot. So I think that goes perfect. So I think it'll go Triple H. He's gonna win one at some point.
Yeah.
So
I think it's Triple H or Edge. I think those
Cena.
are the two choices.
You have Edge keep the belt.
Or crazy idea. Cena has the belt. He's like, I'm now coming after Orton's belt too.
Right.
If you wanted to put both matches. Not that I want to have it's weird, that Orton and Cena haven't had a WrestleMania match. Yeah. Considering how many times they fought. But yeah, I think Triple H is the choice.
Yeah, let's go Triple H. All right. 2007, Undertaker wins. Edge is the Iron Man. Khali with the most eliminations. I guess we got to decide like the logical part versus. I don't want to call it lazy, but do we want to avoid just the other title match? Because like to me, Shawn is the obvious answer here. Yeah, in San Antonio to win the match, but he's fighting Cena anyway for the world title. So it's like it feels like a lazier pick, but I think he may be the best pick.
Yeah, I agree. He's the best pick. I just don't know how I feel about picking him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the field is weird.
Yeah.
Maybe Jeff
You
Hardy.
got Punk.
Yeah, but he's really Hardy. It's really not a big field.
Oh, I got a guy you could go with. How about Lashley?
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Because you set him up for the Trumps. I mean, I guess he comes out of the Trump stuff in this world, but unless Vince screws him, you could say Vince cost him the world title shot somehow, and then he gets pissed, and that's why he goes against him with Trump.
Right.
I feel like you can't
Look,
touch the Trump Vince stuff. I mean, I think you could pull Lashley out. I don't think he matters anything to the match.
yeah, you
so
can put someone else against Umaga. That's no problem.
Right. Well, who do you have Lashley
almost-
fight if he wins? Is he fighting Cena?
Or
is he fighting
Orton?
No, it's Taker Batista for the title.
Oh, I don't want to touch
Batista's
that.
champion. Right.
Yeah, I guess it's Cena then. But Cena the champion? Yeah, Cena's the champion.
Yeah, because he fights Shawn. So I mean, you were going to do Cena Lashley at the Bash anyway.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Let's go with
You want to go Lashley? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. 2008, Cena wins. Obviously, the big surprise return. This one's going to hurt. Batista's the Iron Man, Triple H. So the title matches at Mania is Edge Taker, and then the Cena Orton Triple H. So like, if we want to avoid, again, like just Taker winning and being lazy with it.
But once again, there's not a ton. Like I think when you look at this field, it's probably Batista. Like,
you give him another title match. I mean, I guess his Mania match kind of sucks with Umaga.
Yeah, like because like when you look at this field, there's not really much else, and you don't want to touch those title matches, right? Like Triple H is okay in it, but you don't want to go him. Umaga's kind of burnt.
You could go Jericho. He had just come back. Yes, Santino. Jericho had just come back. Could do that.
Yeah, doesn't he have does he have the title shot at Rumble?
No, his Armageddon. He got with Orton. He fights JBL at the Rumble.
That's right.
He's not really in a good groove. So I mean, he doesn't really get that back until like Money in the Bank and all that at Mania. Then he turns heel and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if Batista wins, you're just doing him and Orton. I mean, we never did get Batista versus Orton at a big time match. So you could do Batista Orton at Mania and do Cena Triple H just as a non-title match, or you just make that a 4-way. You just like you did a triple threat anyway, so you could just do Cena Orton Triple H Batista.
Yeah, I think it's another case of like Cena was the perfect winner based on circumstance, and I think Batista's it's leaving a bad taste, but I think it's the best choice.
Yeah, let's go Batista.
Yeah, 2009.
Hey, okay, Orton, another great perfect choice. So it's tough.
Yeah,
Triple H is the Iron Man. Triple H a Big Show, most eliminations.
Yeah. I think you got a couple of interesting choices here. Could go Undertaker. Could work. You could go Punk at this point. I think at this point he's ready to do it. But I think for the best possible story, I think you might want to give it to like one of the legacy guys.
Yeah.
Who wins in Orton's stead. It's supposed to be Orton's to win, and like Cody wins it.
And do you have Orton screw him out of the title shot? This is so hard because Orton is so over. Like you have to go to Mania with him and Triple H, I think.
I know.
What's the other title match? It's
a Cena against Edge and Big Show.
Oh yeah, so we can fuck with that one. So who's Cena's champ going into that?
Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, look, the other option is one of the Evolution guys. I keep calling them Evolution. One of the legacy guys win as a shock, and you play the tension, but he ends up challenging Cena instead.
Right.
And then it becomes like a whole legacy night when they both win or whatever. You also have Shawn running around still, but you don't want to.
I want to say, I want to talk about him in the next one. I mean, you got Jericho, like you're setting him up for the Mickey Rourke legend stuff, but he's coming off a massive year. But does it feel a little too late for that?
It just feels like it doesn't add or subtract anything.
Or how about Jeff? Isn't this the year to go with Jeff?
Well, he was just world champion.
Yeah,
because he's world champ in 2008, so he's already had that crowning moment.
Yeah, maybe you save it. Maybe you have him do Mania.
But
he's Triple H at Mania.
Against Cena
or Cena.
Mania. Yeah.
But he might have beaten Triple H and had a quick run with the belt, but then winning the Rumble and beating Cena in the main event of Mania is like that's really like a next level thing. Let's go with Jeff. I think he's the most over guy.
Let's go Jeff Hardy. Yeah.
All right. All right, 2010, Edge wins, Cena, Iron Man, Shawn, most eliminations.
I
Edge is
hate
kind
this
of a
choice of
whatever
a
winner.
winner. I'm never
Yeah.
like this choice of a winner because
Yeah.
it was enough that he came back and it was a surprise.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
I think
and then,
Shawn. To me, this is the Shawn pick.
yeah, it's got to be Shawn. It's got to be Shawn.
And then you just do Shawn, Taker, title, career, streak, all of it at once on the line. Has to have Taker be champion going into Mania. And then and Edge Jericho can fight for not the title. They don't need to have the title in line for their little feud. So
yeah, or you could do. I mean, there's another option in there. This is one where you could slide Punk in. We'll probably talk about him a lot in the next few. But like, this is kind of where he's nearing his zenith as like the straight edge guy.
Yeah.
So you could do Punk.
Is this the straight edge Rumble? This is the one where he's with the mic and all
that.
that.
Yeah, he was doing the sermons, and then Triple H comes and ruins it.
I know. I like the Shawn Taker story too much.
I did. It's Shawn. It's Shawn. It is Shawn. Like Shawn is obviously what.
Well, he wins the Rumble to get his rematch and a shot at the title. But the only thing is, what leads him to put the career on the line, though? Like, you need a reason, because the whole reason he does it is to fight, to go Taker into that match.
Yeah. You could just have someone. You could have Vince at it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a way to get around it, I guess.
Yeah. That I don't think that's that's the least of your problems, I think.
Right. Okay. All right. 2011, Alberto Del Rio. Punk is the Iron Man. Punk and Cena. So this sets up 27, right? Which is Miz, Cena, and Del Rio Edge.
So I actually think Del Rio might be the right choice based on the field, but it's completely wrong how they do it. Like, they make this whole big deal about it's 40 guys, and they bring him out at 38 and he wins.
Right. Yeah, it makes no sense. I mean, this is a shot for Punk if you want to do it here.
But you don't want to take away the Chicago moment, right? And that would do it.
Oh,
unless he loses at Mania. Like, you want that moment.
What about the guy that's on the picture right now? You always talk about the one time you could do like a crazy thing. Maybe Santino wins and Del Rio chases him down and beats him at No Way Out and gets the title shot.
Sure. I love the idea of Santino winning. I think you could also do John Morrison. I think that's kind of right there too.
Yeah, well, in that world, you go Miz, Morrison, Cena, Rock, which is what they probably should have done.
Yeah. Another outside the box idea, you could do Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Because he fights Miz. I think it's at the February pay-per-view, right? Like, for the
I know
title.
they fight on Raw. Yeah, they have a great little feud.
Yeah,
maybe avoid the Cole shit.
Yeah, and it's the same. Oh, please, anything to. You know what? We should just pick him just for that reason.
Let's do it. I think it's a cool moment, and it's something you would never see coming. Let's go with Lawler. I like Morrison.
You know what?
But
yeah, I think Lawler. The heat for Lawler Miz at WrestleMania in Lawler's one WrestleMania match for the world title is going to be freaking insane. Like,
yeah, I like it.
And just see to do something else. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's a million guys he could fight.
Yeah.
All right, that's an easy. That one's done. I like it. That's one of my favorite ones we've done so far, honestly. 2012, Sheamus wins. Miz is the Iron Man. Cody, most eliminations. This is where it's already been in my mind for 10 years. It's Chris Jericho. He comes out and the ring is empty and he wins.
And he puts the camera in his face.
Right. Doesn't say anything, right? Because he did the whole thing where he wasn't talking since his return. He just came out. Waves. So as he's coming to the ring, two guys topple over the top. And he steps in the ring and the bell rings and he wins. I think it would have been fucking awesome.
I love it. The only thing I would say that is to amend it a bit is I'd put them out before he comes out.
Yeah. All right. And then,
So it's like, whoever the next guy is going to win. And it's the guy who doesn't talk or do anything.
Yeah. However it goes, I think Jericho winning without doing anything is like the easy pick on this one for me. Yeah. And it avoids Jericho Fandango. Oh, no, that's the year later, right? So who's Jericho fighting this one?
Punk.
Doesn't he fight? Oh, he fights Punk anyway. So it sets it up
he's
anyway.
in the other title match.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. This one is like
the idea is too good.
It's too good. It's too good. It was better. All right, 2013, Cena wins. Dolph is the Iron Man. Sheamus, most eliminations. So this is where Punk loses the belt to Rock on the undercard.
I mean, I don't know how much I want to die on this hill, But I think one of the biggest mistakes of that era is not going harder on Ryback. I think Ryback is a viable option here, but not with
So what do
how
you
they
have?
set everything else up. That's the
So who's he
thing.
fight? Punk?
It would have to be Punk. Like it'd have to be Ryback Punk with him beating Punk, right? I think Ziggler is a fine option also because he was at his like the peak of his popularity.
Well, you could do something cool too. If you have Ziggler win, and then he faces Del Rio. Del Rio beats him, and then him and Big E kick the shit out of Del Rio, and then he cashes in and wins. Yeah, he just hands over the briefcase and wins. Like that would have been something different to do with Money in the Bank. Now, I hate to take away the night after Mania moment, which is like perfect. But
it would have gotten as big. Like honestly, people were salivating for a Dolph win. So I think the one night earlier.
I think my options here would be good.
No, the other option is Rock.
I was going to say that was exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, Rock wins, and so you do Rock Punk at Mania.
Yeah, or triple threat. I don't know how you get to a triple threat, but
right.
The problem with all that is you lose Undertaker, which kind of sucks. But Undertaker Punk, but I trade that I think for a Punk main event. So I think Rock is probably the best.
Let's go Ziggler. I love that. I like the angle of him winning, and maybe he doesn't get beat by Del Rio. Maybe he gets DQ'd. Like Big E comes in and they kick the shot out of Del Rio, and I was like, Dolph just blew his big title shot. What's going on? And then he hands the briefcase in and fucking pins him and wins the belt. Like I think it's way better than Del Rio and Swagger.
Oh, no kidding. There's no fucking point of that. You have Big E and Dolph kicking the shit out of him for the DQ. Everyone's like, oh, the match is over. And then AJ runs down with the briefcase.
Yes. Yep.
So you get the anticipation too of like, uh-oh.
Yeah, the briefcase isn't out there. I like that. Let's go with that. And then you could use something else with Hell No. Maybe you put them in the Shield match. Maybe you take out Big Show and who's that? Big Show, Ryback, and Sheamus. Maybe you take out Big Show and Ryback and do Sheamus and Hell No against the Shield or something instead.
Yeah, it sucks they already ran it back because of those three, Ryback is like far and away the most over.
Right. Or just do the rematch from TLC, whatever.
And have the good guys win.
There you go. Yeah. Imagine. All right, 2014.
Speaking of the good guys winning.
All right, I think these next two are super easy.
Yeah, are they the same guy?
Yeah, I mean, 14 has to be Deanna Bryan. We were there. Oh, no, you weren't there. I was there. You're at the next one. At this one, everyone assumed he loses to Bray Wyatt. And it's like, I remember sitting in the crowd looking around like, oh, yeah, all right, Bryan, he's going to come out and win the Rumble. He wasn't in the Rumble match, but everyone assumed he would come in at 30. Poor Rey Mysterio. He gets booed out of the fucking building. The other option here is if you want to pull Reigns a year early. You could do that.
Look, you could do Bray. Bray is interesting too at this point. You could do, and look, what they could have done if they wanted to rectify the situation somewhat is give it to Punk. I know he's leaving, but they didn't know that, right? That's another. I think of all the options, like if you're not going to do Bryan, that's probably the next best one.
Yeah, you do Punk Triple H main event.
Yeah, but it's Bryan. Come on.
Yeah.
It's this year.
Or not Punk Triple H. You'd have to do Punk Orton, I guess. No, it's Bryan. It's going to be Bryan. And now I think for 15, we just go ahead on that one too. I mean, 15 is going to be Bryan as well. I mean, this one's even more obvious. If he's in the Rumble, he has to win the Rumble. Like to me, there's no question about it. The only thing is to potentially cost us Roman and Brock, which is one of the best WrestleMania main events ever. So, but we probably get Bryan Brock, which also could have been pretty awesome.
But you know what? You can. I don't doubt that would. It would be the same level of quality. It would just be a different match, and you can still do the Seth cash, and you can still do everything the same. Like
right. Well, because you probably don't want the belt on Bryan anyway, because he's about to go out anyway weeks later.
Yeah, but you want headbutting Ziggler at the top of a ladder, like repeatedly.
Yeah, that makes more sense. All right, so let's go 14, 15 is both.
Dan O'Brien.
Both Bryan. Yeah. All right, 16, Triple H wins. Reigns as the Iron Man. Reigns and Strowman. Most eliminations.
Yeah.
Anyone jump out for you?
Yeah, this one's for the belt also, right?
Yes.
Well, Ambrose is there at the end. I think Brock is Brock is probably an interesting pick here too. He's the champ. I know we get burned out with him later, but like at this point, that's not there. You're not going to do Styles right away. You're not going to do Owens.
I like Ambrose. I think Ambrose wins.
Yeah.
And Reigns is like kind of pissed. He's like, "What the fuck? You took my title," And then you can set up the 4-way that should have been probably Mania: Brock, Triple H, Reigns, and Ambrose if you want, or you just do Reigns Ambrose main event of Mania for the title.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's also something really fun about. Well, I don't even know if Reigns needs to be pissed because what happens in the match is Triple H eliminates Reigns.
Yeah,
and
but I think if we do this, right? Yeah.
But at that point, you're positive Triple H is going to win.
Right.
You're not betting on Ambrose, and then Ambrose throws him out to the surprise of everybody, right?
And then that keeps Triple H in the picture if you want to do that 4-way at Mania.
Yeah.
You could also go a different route if you want to turn Ambrose. You could have him sell out to the corporation. They help him beat Reigns, and he's the guy going into Mania with Vince and Triple H behind him.
Yeah. I mean, look, in theory, you don't even need Triple H in that title picture at all.
No.
Right?
No.
Like so it works if Ambrose sells out, but I think it could also work if you just do a triple threat with Reigns, Ambrose, and Brock.
Yeah, that's fine too. They do that anyway, don't they? Isn't that the No Way Out?
Oh, it's the
Chamber.
It's No Way Out.
Fastlane.
You lose the soliloquy at 11:47 at night from Stephanie McMahon, but
we could do it anyway for fun.
Bonus feature.
I like it. Let's go Ambrose. I think he's super over. That whole stretch of the spring, I was ready for him to win the world title. So, all right, 17 is Orton. Jericho is the Iron Man. Braun is the most eliminations again with 7. I mean, I liked Orton winning because I really liked him and Bray as a team in that story. But I think, again, I don't want to get lazy with it, right? Because you could just say Goldberg or Brock is the choice, and then he fights Goldberg. But I don't want to lose Goldberg and Brock.
No, me neither. This was one that was hard to call at the time.
Mm.
Like, this one could be Reigns to fight the Undertaker. This one could be the Undertaker. Those are two options.
Well, so Cena's champion here.
Yeah, he just wins. He wins it. He wins it that night, right?
Yeah, but who does he lose it to?
So
Bray.
AJ's the champ at the Rumble night, yeah, and then he loses to Bray in the Chamber, and Bray drops it to Orton in the Maggot match.
And the other one is Goldberg beats.
Owens.
Yeah, that's right. He beats Owens.
Yeah, it would be a fun one. It would get rid of. I mean, it's pure comedy, but it would get rid of Goldberg Brock. Is if Goldberg destroys Owens and Chris Jericho wins this Rumble and is like, I'm going to avenge your loss, best friend Kevin Owens, and gets fucking destroyed by Goldberg. Like, but I don't think that's why I don't think you should burn your Rumble on that.
Probably not.
You could.
I mean, unless Jericho just wins and Owens keeps the belt, and you do Goldberg Brock not for the title, and then you just
Goldberg Brock didn't need the title.
No. And you could do Jericho Owens for the title.
Yeah, you could also do Nakamura, who's about to join the main roster. Because I always thought they should have done Nakamura Brock. Well, both of them could still go. Maybe Jericho.
I mean, if Reigns wins, what do you have? Taker as champion? He beats Cena at the Chamber instead of Bray.
Yeah. No, it's almost too obvious. That's such a missed opportunity. Like I love the way they ended the streak. I actually really like it. I love the shock of it. Like I think it's an all-time moment. But you knew in 2017 they were like, fuck, why did we end the streak?
Right.
Because like there's the guy to do it right there.
Yeah, and you could have had him win the Rumble and say, I'm going after the streak.
Yeah. I don't know. None of these seem like amazing.
It's one of the hardest ones. I feel like somehow it's one of the tougher ones.
So I'm tempted to just stay with Jericho because you could just do Jericho Owens instead of
Jericho.
The US title. We picked Jericho 3 times on this thing.
He's a good choice. He heats up around Mania. I think it's him.
And he's never won.
No, yeah. I think he wins and he fights Owens, and then you just do Brock Goldberg non-title and everything else can sit, and don't do the stupid bugs. You can still do Orton Bray.
Yeah, maybe change something with that, but
yeah. Take a Reigns low. He sucks. I'd be fine if they change that somehow. If we want to give Reigns the win and not do Reigns Taker, I'm also okay with that. Because you could also do Reigns Goldberg and Reigns beats him. If you want to go that route.
Yeah. No, I like Jericho.
Okay. All right, 2018 is so we got two. We'll do the men's first. Nakamura, who's a great pick. He's the Iron Man. Finn Balor and Roman are the most eliminations.
I find it's 2017, 2018 where they really fell into a groove of using Roman in the perfect way in Rumbles. Because you always expect him to win. There's someone you love in the ring, and they bring him out at the end, and you're like, here we go.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, this one was a really good use of him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get crazy, Adam Cole comes up from NXT and wins.
He's in the match.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then you do Cole, and I guess you lose knock AJ, but you could do Cole and AJ for the title. Yeah. I mean, AJ retains anyway.
Yeah, it's a shame that they burned Sammy and Owens earlier in that year. You could do Finn AJ.
Yeah, that's good too.
But they had done it. They did the Demon and AJ in 2017.
How about let's get away from AJ. Let's have someone else win and fight Brock and get that stupid Roman Brock match at 34 is terrible. It's like it's the one you really didn't need during that stretch, and they fight a bunch more times in 18 anyway. Like you didn't really. That's one you could have gotten away with not having, and you get the whole stupid thing where Brock throws the belt anyway at the end.
How here outside the backs? I want to see him fight Brock Cesaro.
Oh, I was gonna say John Cena.
We've seen that. I mean, Cesaro or Sheamus. I'd love to see either one of them fight Brock. Yeah. I would have kept Nakamura and have him just fight Brock.
Then you lose the Nicholas match. What about Braun? He kind of has his year in 18, but none of it really connects.
Well, he fights for the belt. He fights Brock on the undercard. That's the one where Brock beats him up.
Yeah.
He's going too fast.
Well, it's Braun and Kane.
What the fuck is Kane doing in the title picture in 2018?
The whole thing is weird. Yeah.
Look, I think Finn, Cesaro, like they don't feel like big time winners, but
let's go Finn and he fights Brock. I'd do that and get rid of Reigns and Brock. Finn and he goes on to fight because Finn Brock's a great match, and you keep AJ Nakamura. Nakamura gets a title shot another way.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this is the one Scott predicted to be Finn for a million fucking times some main event anyway. So, all right, the women's is Asuka, another perfect winner. Sasha is the Iron Woman or Iron Maiden, as some call them, and Michelle McCool have the most eliminations. This is the best women's Rumble ever. I mean, this past year's good too, but this one's the best. They had the perfect mix of legends and surprises and current women because it was the first one. I think. I mean, do you have Rousey win, but then that takes away the tag, which I thought was a better use of her.
Yeah. Do you have Nikki Bella win and then have someone dethrone her, like because everybody's mad?
Yeah.
Do you have a legend win it, like Trish? Like Trish,
right? You do Trish, Charlotte, and Mania.
Yeah.
Or you just Charlotte. give it to Sasha. I mean, she's awesome in the match. She's the glue in the match. And you just do Sasha Charlotte.
Yeah, the only problem with that is you've seen by this point Sasha Charlotte a lot. Maybe do Sasha Alexa.
You could do that too if you want to mix it up.
Yeah.
I mean, Kairi Sane is an option. Comes up from NXT.
Yeah.
Shayna, if you wanted to bring her up.
Yeah, Nia Jax. What about Bayley? What's Bayley doing?
She's number 29. She only lasts 5 minutes. What does she do at Mania? She's in that. Is she in like some kind of tag?
Yeah, probably.
Or she hurt.
I mean, look, I'd be okay with Vicky Guerrero winning. Excuse me.
Bailey, let's see. Bailey at WrestleMania 34. She's not even on the show. Is she in like the women's
No.
battle royal, or she's hurt? It's one of those. She might have been hurt. She might have gotten hurt or something. She's not even at Mania.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's either you crown Sasha, but the matches aren't necessarily good, or you give it to a legend, and then you make a dream match with Charlotte.
I just don't think you do a legend for the first women's rumble. I think you want to establish your current day women. That was the goal.
Yeah.
I don't want to do Ronda. I don't want to do Ronda because I like the way they go about the tag with Ronda. You're not going to go right into her and Charlotte, right? She hadn't really been primed yet. Let's just go Sasha. I think she earns it in this match. Sure. She's awesome. She never wins one.
I just don't love the matchups, but yeah.
Well, you can still do Charlotte Asuka and then just do Sasha Alexa instead of Nia.
Yeah.
That storyline kind of sucks anyway, the bully stuff.
Not bully. I'm twice your size, but you're my bully.
Yeah, it's like I know what they were going for.
But it's like, but they live in a world where phicality is allowed.
Right,
like,
yeah.
You know, when you're smoking at
at
school, you're not allowed to beat the shit out of her.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go Sasha. 2019 men, Seth wins. He's the Iron Man. Braun has the most eliminations. Seth would go on to curb stomp Brock in the opener at Mania.
Yeah.
The other world title match is Bryan and Kofi, which we don't want to touch.
No.
So do you have? I mean, Kofi's the easy one, but it's like they weren't there yet with him, right? So
no. Samoa Joe is in the mix. I'm trying to think of guys who can conceal it. Ambrose was still there if you wanted to keep him around. You could pull the trigger on Drew a year early. If you want, here's someone they should have done a lot more with, and probably would have had a really good match with Brock, and that's Aleister Black.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's not there yet either. But
there's one guy we're not talking about that is in the Rumble.
You ready to hear
Double
something?
J action?
You want to hear something insane? The more, I don't know if everybody's this way, but the more I watch TNA, I'm into 2006 now, and I'm like, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
and he's a good stabilizing champion, and he's good.
I think at the time he was wrapped up in he almost get adversely affected by Triple H because everyone is sick of Triple H as the champion and the heel on side. Oh, Jarrett's the same way. And it had been he was shoved down the throat by Russo in WCW. Now he's just the TNA champion because his dad brought the company. So I think there was a lot of that at the time going around and not objectively looking at the work. You know what I mean?
But he also loses a lot. And it's not the same. He always ends up back with the belt, but he drops it to Rhino. He drops it to Abyss. He drops it to all kinds of people. But no, he shouldn't win this match, sadly.
All right. I like
Ricochet.
Who was I looking at? There was someone. Because this person has to fight Brock, right? I mean, that's where we're at because we're not touching Kofi and Bryan. So
no, Riddle. You do Riddle.
No, I like Drew.
A year early, and he actually gets.
It's not a year early. Well, yeah, but he was awesome at the end of 18 with all the Dolph, all that tag stuff with the Shield and all, right? Or was that the year before? No, that was the year, right?
No, that was that year. He was awesome immediately when he returned.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's this year.
I like Drew here.
It's at the end of this year.
The tag stuff with the Shield. Yeah.
That's coming later. But I don't mind Drew here. That's at 19. The problem is they cool him off, right? Because he fights Reigns at Mania.
Yeah, that's Reigns' return. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can have Reigns.
No, he had the Dolph stuff was before this, right? Because isn't he part of the coalition?
I made a mistake.
They do that little coalition. It was Corbin, Dolph, and Drew, and is it Latin? No, who the fuck else is it? It's someone else. And they're trying to take out the Shield.
It's late 2018. In my head, we're still talking about 2018. That's why it got clicked.
So I think he earns it. I think they want him maybe Dolph or whoever else, Corbin, whatever that threesome group is. Maybe it's Lashley. They're trying to ruin they want to attack Reigns in his comeback or something. And Drew is like, not on my watch or whatever. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, we have our issues, but Reigns, like, I respect him or something. And then you organically turn him and he beats Brock at Mania. Because Rollins, what's that title run? Does he do anything with that title run? I don't remember.
It's long, and it's the one that culminates with him finally losing to the Fiend.
Yeah, so fuck it, whatever. So
it's terrible. It's a terrible run. Yeah.
I think Drew winning and beating Brock at 35. That's the choice.
I'm okay with that. Okay.
All right.
2019
women. Yeah.
So Becky's the winner. Natalia's the Iron Woman. Jesus Christ.
Well, this is Becky was a surprise, right? She lost earlier in the night to Asuka.
Yeah. And Charlotte is the eliminator. I mean, the easy one here is Charlotte because it actually justifies her inclusion in the main event.
Is there another? What's the other women's set? Oh, Asuka. No, what's the other women's title match at that Mania?
They have the tag titles. It's a 4-way, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's the 4-way for the tag. It's Sasha. That's the Sasha and Bailey crying on the floor. That's the Iconics winning the belts. But I didn't know if there was another singles women's title match. I guess not. Looks like
because they're both. It's for all the titles.
Oh, right, yeah, they're both in there.
She becomes Becky 2 belts, right?
So I think it's going to be Charlotte, or you're not doing the 3-way and you're splitting the titles out.
Yeah. I mean, I always go back.
You could do. No, but I'll give you my pick. I think she's not even on this fucking show. I don't think. Or was she in that? No, she's not even in the tag. And Marcus and I talk about this all the time on War, right? There are people that have great seasons that get left out of the build to Mania. Asuka is awesome in 18-19, and then she's nowhere to be found on this Mania card. So I guess she's champion at the Rumble, so you can't have her win. But I feel like she gets completely left out. So you could have Charlotte win the Rumble and face Asuka in a rematch from the year before, and Asuka beats her, this payback, and then you just do Becky Ronda in the main event. But I think we're just gonna go Charlotte either way because they want Charlotte in that match. Like, it's the first women's main event. Like, she's their ace. Like, she's gonna be in that fucking match no matter what. And both titles are involved, so we're kind of boxed in. I think we gotta go Charlotte.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay. All right. 2020 men is Drew.
You guys, when you guys did the list of Rumble winners, you guys gave no love to Drew in your tier list. And I don't understand. Like, I love this Rumble so much. Like, it's such a strong field. It's a different story. Like, I think there's some cool options in this one too. Just didn't click for you guys.
So this is Edge's return, right?
Yes.
I'll be honest. I like Drew winning. I think, part of it is, whatever. By my non-recency bias or whatever you want to call it. Like, I just don't remember the stuff as intrinsically well. So, like, it probably doesn't stand out. I probably haven't watched it more than again. Also, the payoff is it sucks because of the COVID mania, right? So it's like that lingers in your mind is like,
Yeah. But this moment at the time when he came out and the stare down and like, whoa, like it felt like I feel like it's been a long time since we've gotten like a real passing of the torch moment, but this felt like it. This felt like Brock is the badass passing it to the new badass, who's the Scottish. Like, whenever Drew comes out, I'm watching wrestling, he comes out, and I see him come out in the kilt and the sword. I'm like, there is no one who could fight this man and win. He just looks like a murderer, But we got to pick another winner. I don't think it's Edge.
No.
I think an interesting thing to do would be just have Brock run the field, but you destroy the promotion in the process.
Right. And do Brock as champion, right? Is that what it is?
Because he comes in as champ, right?
Right. Yeah. Riddle comes up from NXT for this one. Last 41 seconds.
Why bring him up?
I can't believe some of these guys are still around in 2020, like Joe Black. Crazy.
Keith Lee is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
And
Is this where he does the showdown with Brock? And Brock,
Yeah.
like, who the fuck is that guy? Yeah.
He's like, oh, big boy. And Keith Lee is coming off the NXT performance at the Survivor Series in 2019. So it's not
so
like
hard
he
because that
hasn't
Mania,
improved.
and that Mania is such a shit show that
It's terrible.
it's hard to like fantasy book the title match there because it's going to be garbage if it's still like the COVID Mania.
Yeah.
So if you want to burn off Lee against Brock and just have Brock keep the belt, you could do that.
Yeah.
God, it's also such dog shit.
Yeah, I become indifferent to it. So I think we got to maybe get creative with this one. Like, I think either Brock runs the table.
Let's just do that. I don't think we've had a win any yet, right?
No.
All right, let's just go Brock. I like Brock winning the title as champion. Who gives a shit? It's all going to hell anyway a month later.
Yeah.
So, who cares?
Well, it's funny because it actually sets up the title match because the guys that he would fight, which is it's Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're getting Goldberg and Brock again to unify the belts, essentially.
Sure, whatever. All right, for the women, Charlotte wins. Bianca's the Iron Woman. Bianca and Shayna, most eliminations. So this leads to that Mania is what? It's Charlotte. Who does she fight? Rhea?
Yeah. She fights for the NXT title.
Right, that's right.
And Shayna Baszler was the one everyone thought was going to win, but she still got the title shot against Becky.
Yeah, I would probably go Shayna. I think she deserved it coming off of that 19 NXT run. But I don't hate the idea of Rhea winning and just flipping the Charlotte thing and Charlotte give her one of the main belts if Rhea challenges. But yeah. I like Charlotte dropping down to NXT and facing Rhea as NXT champ. So I think we leave that alone. I think this one we give to Shayna. I think she earned it.
Yeah, that's for Shayna. Or Mercedes Martinez.
Oh yeah. Or Mercedes Monet.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
All right, so that's 20. All right, so now we go to the stupid fucking Thunderdome. 2021, Edge wins. Edge is the Iron Man. Big E and Damian Priest have the most eliminations.
This is like the most unnecessary Iron Man / winner ever, I feel.
Yes.
And then Orton is number 2 and he still lasts the whole time but does nothing.
Yeah, it's all dog shit. So Mania though is Edge, Bryan, Roman, right? And then the other one is what do we got on the other side?
God damn it. It's because the next year he wins. It's Brock. Is Brock the champion?
No, Drew beats Goldberg.
It's Lashley and it's Lashley Drew. Lashley's the champion, but Drew challenges and loses.
Right.
Because Miz won the title and then dropped it to Lashley.
This all sounds made up to me. I do like that Mania though. So I would say
Lashley.
Yeah, again, I know we're trying to avoid just being lazy, but at this point, it's kind of like some of these. It's kind of a who cares. So I think Lashley winning and facing Drew for the title at Mania with Drew as champion to give him the title match he kind of deserves in front of a crowd that he didn't get.
It's so ridiculous that as we get later in these, it's so telling that it's there's one or two choices and neither one is interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's just so screwed up in that setting, and it's just like you said, Edge going bell to bell in front of a bunch of TV screens. It's so. I just can't stand the era, so I just have no interest in talking about it. I know it comes across on all these shows, and I feel bad, but I just don't like it. It's not interesting to me. I know there's some good stuff in there.
Look, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with you 100%, but I think it runs deeper than that. As I think once you get to 2017. There's not the Rumbles are set up in such a way that it's one or two guys. Nothing else makes any sense, and both options are not incredible. Like 2017, I liked that Orton won, but it wasn't that good an option. Orton winning another Rumble. So that's why I think it's where it suffers a bit. Anyway, Edge is not a good choice. Put Bobby Lashley there.
Bobby Lindsay.
Let's talk about the women.
All right, so Bianca wins this. Again, this is a tough one to mess with because her and Sasha have that really good match in moment.
I love the moment. I hate that they did on the same night, like basically the two people winning.
Yeah,
that's my takeaway from this. Is like it's like
both
okay.
in front of TV screens. Like, what's the other women's match at Mania? So they do Bianca side. It's gonna be Charlotte, right?
That's 37, eh?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I typed in the wrong thing. I don't even remember. Like the tag titles were Bailey and I can't even remember. Like that's how Bianca.
No, it's Rhea and Asuka. Yeah.
So it's like the runner-up beating her anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, I know it's the same shit.
But this was the Rhea run, which wasn't very good compared to the current one, which is great.
No, yeah,
we'll get to that. Where's Bailey? She's number 1.
And she had an awesome year in the Thunderdome. So I mean, if you want to go Bailey here,
let's go Bailey.
Reward her. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
She deserved it.
Okay. Bailey's so good. She gets no respect.
Yeah, she deserves to win one. All right, 2022. 2022 is the Brock surprise with the groan. It's like again.
Oh, here we go.
AJ's the Iron Man, eliminates 6 guys. We get Brock Roman again at Mania.
Terrible.
And then what's the other title matches?
That is the title match because it's unifying.
Yeah. All right.
These are impossible.
Lashley wins the belt at the Rumble. So we could have him keep it, and whoever wins, we can have him fight Lashley and just do Brock Reigns for Reigns' title.
We could also have Riddle win this and go Riddle Lesnar, which is a match they should have done at some point.
And have Roman fight someone else.
Anyone else. I think that'd probably be my pick is Riddle. He's in there. He lasts 19 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Fuck it. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. The women.
See, and they do the same storyline. Like it's crazy. Like the year before it was the 2 Iron people who won. And this year it's the 2 surprise MMA people that win.
Right. Yeah. So Ronda wins this one. Bianca's the Iron Woman. Charlotte, most eliminations. So the Mania title matches are Charlotte, Ronda, which is great. And then Becky, Bianca, which is also great. So it's tough to go against these. I mean, we could just flip it and give it to Bianca. Again, I know we're trying to avoid it, but like I hate to mess with either of those matches. We took away Bianca's the year before. You got to get to these matches somehow.
I don't love Charlotte.
I watched it recently. I went 4 on it.
4? I can't remember liking it that much. I'm checking now what I put it at, but like
I had that. Fix your screen. We're looking at your tits.
I know. I just had to bring it down for a second.
So I went Ronda, Charlotte. I have 4, and Becky, Bianca 4.5.
I have it at 3. 3 Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky, Bianca. Is that night 2? No, it's all the first night.
No, they're both night
3,
1.
7, 5. Yeah, 3, 7, 5. Becky, Bianca.
All right, so the I hate to mess with either. I think Bianca deserves to win one of these. I don't know who else you're putting in, unless you just don't bring Ronda back and you have someone else fight Charlotte. So if you see someone in this Rumble match that you feel
there's nobody else in the Rumble that like Sasha, but again, we've already picked that before. Like I feel with the women, you've only got a couple of choices, right?
At this point, yeah.
Yeah.
We could give it to Rhea because she's not going to win the next year, but she's just with Liv at this point. She's not doing a lot.
No, she's not interesting. Unless you wanted to bring back Io Shirai. If you did something with Dakota Kai, which is completely different, or Candice LeRae, like somebody out of left field, I think those are the choices. But let's just do Bianca.
Yeah, I think Bianca's the choice. All right, 23. Cody wins. Gunther's the
runner-up.
You know what?
Oh, I was gonna say let's do the women for 20. Let's
All right,
finish
do the
with
women.
men
All
for
right.
20.
Rhea wins. Rhea's the Iron Woman. Rhea has the most eliminations. She's dominant. She's awesome in the Rumble. She's the
Yeah.
best choice in my eyes. This is one of the harder ones to give up.
Yeah.
But since we have to, given the rules of this, so
Yes.
Rhea faces what's this Mania look like?
She beats is it Asuka? No, that was
Look
in
real quick.
yeah. Because there's some interesting people in the match.
She beats Charlotte to win the title.
That's right. She
on night
revenges
one.
it.
And then you have Trish, Lita, and Becky against Damage Control. You have all the women in a tag with Ronda and Shayna. And then Bianca beats Asuka to retain.
The women's not that interesting in terms of who's there. Another one where they had that Rhea and Liv last to the end, and then Rhea tossed out Liv. Terrible.
So I mean, you could do Asuka here since we haven't given her one yet.
No, you could do Raquel too.
Yeah. Raquel Welch.
I think I like just put Asuka.
Unless you want to give one of the Damage Control, since they had come, heated up at SummerSlam. If you wanted to give it to Io, I'd be okay with that. Io versus you could do Io Asuka if you want to be a little.
I like that match. So let's do that. I like that.
Let's do that. Let's give something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you get Asuka gets the belt between here and Mania, and then or she was champion anyway, right? Or no? What did we just say?
I think she was.
No, she wasn't. She was challenging Bianca.
Oh, okay.
Even if you do Io Bianca, whatever, that's just good too.
All right, last one.
All right, Cody is your winner. Gunther, Iron Man, Gunther and Cody most eliminations. We don't finish the story anyway, so I don't think Cody winning has to be tantamount to it.
No.
I don't think Gunther's there yet, and I think you want that IC title match is so good at Mania that I wouldn't fuck with.
No, you don't want to fuck with that. I got to pick. I got a guy. Dirty Dom Mysterio.
Yeah, I mean, you really gonna run Roman and Dirty Dom though?
Why the fuck not? Like, why not?
Because Ray Dirty Dom is really good.
Yeah, I know, but I love Dirty Dom.
You're gonna turn Dirty Dom face though? You can't do that.
No. You run him like that.
You going heel? Yeah.
I
like your idea. I like the idea in a bottle, but not for where it heads. How about Logan Paul?
Heel?
Whatever at that point, but it's like your biggest star name guy out there.
Logan
Paul could also do Mania.
You could do Zayn, but you lose Montreal, but they fucked him there anyway.
Or you could do one of the Usos.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that choice. You could do Brock and Roman again.
Owens.
Yeah. We've seen them all already, right?
I mean, Gunther's like a great choice. I'm not willing to give up that IC 3-way. So
look, I don't know if we're gonna do this, but I actually think Gunther should win this year. Like, yeah. Like, I think like it's funny because everyone's got this vision of like Cody Rhodes ending the Roman Reigns thing and Punk fighting Seth Rollins, but I think the best person to end Roman Reigns' streak is Gunther. Like, he's been positioned so strong. He's positioned so strong that when they brought out that other belt for Rollins, I was like, what? Why? Like, we already have a dominant champion.
I think if Cody's not going to win at Mania, I don't think Roman's losing at Mania. I think they're going to have him beat Hogan's run, which is like the summer sometime. And the way The Rock talked at that press conference today, I don't think Rock and Roman's happening in Philly. I think it's next year. So whether it's for the title or not, I think it's for 41. Because he said he's all about long-term story building. He's a fucking board member. He's not going anywhere now. So like, I think they're setting that up for next year, honestly.
Yeah.
So it just depends if they're going to do Cody or not. But anyway, we got to pick someone for last year. I like Logan Paul. I just think Gunther, you're not going to do it yet.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do Logan Paul, I think you do Sammy. You lose Montreal. Or you do Jey Uso.
Or Dirty Dom.
And
give Dirty Dom the title.
Yeah, they're not calling it. What do you want to go? You want to
No.
go Sammy? We can go home if you just make a pick. We can go Sammy, Jay, or Logan. Those are my three choices.
I made my pick.
We're not going Dirty Tom.
Well, I guess we'll be here all night.
All right, whatever. Toolman, pick one of those. Pick one of those four. What do you got? It took us this long to have a stalemate.
I'm purposely making it a stalemate too. I don't really care.
Yeah, I'd like to just wrap up since we're almost at 2 hours.
Yeah,
but
you could just agree with Dirty Dom.
it's just not going to happen. It just doesn't. They're not burning Roman Reigns during Roman Reigns' fucking epic title run, WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood. They're not doing Dominic Mysterio.
There we go. Dom.
That's the worst option. That's the worst option because you're losing Montreal and Sammy's not even getting the Mania match.
He's there. He's in the match. The Dirty Dom's walking out with the belt.
Let's go Jey Uso. I think that's a good one. All right. Enjoy the Royal Rumble. You'll never know who we picked, I guess.
Yep.
Hopefully everyone enjoyed this. If you watched it before the Rumble, enjoy. If not, you enjoyed the Rumble, check out all the Rumble content. It's everywhere, all over North-South Connection. And also be sure to check out all of our social media. Subscribe, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Reels, or YouTube. We have all the shorts. Me and Ryan, every WrestleMania match ever. Check it out, short form. Be sure to come back next week. We'll be back on the No Holds Barred. Until then, the Dookie's dropped. The real answer
Dirty
is
Dom.
Jey Uso.
It's Dirty Dom!